What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy, and one quick thing to mention before we get into this video. This video is the review of episode 2 of the mid-table clash. So we're just talking about things that happen in episode 2 and also things that could happen in episode 3. With that being said, if you haven't watched the actual episode, there's going to be a link on the screen right now, or there has been since the start, and also a link in the description for you to click on to go and watch that video. If you just want to watch the review, then by all means go ahead, but if you want to watch the actual video, it'll be on the screen now in a clickable annotation or in the link in the description. So thank you guys for watching, and peace. What is going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy, and welcome to the short little call after all the games are played in episode 2 of the mid-table clash to review what we had, or what results we had in the episode, and looking forward to next week's games, in which I think there's only one game next week where two human managers play off against each other. But you know, time to start off with how teams did. I'm going to start off with the team that, you know, you could say needed the most improving from last week. JNO, you had 3 games, 2 League, 1 Cup. How'd you do?
Well, I actually bossed every single game I was in, and it looked promising at kickoff for the first 15 minutes in all 3 games. And then only one of them actually turned out to be a good result for me. Basically, as soon as I got Rondon in, I managed to pick up a victory against West Ham, which is great because I forgot that when you loan a player from a club, that player can't play against them most of the time because that's put in the clause. So I brought in Zarate thinking, fine, I've got my forwards covered, and then realised I couldn't play him. But Rondon came in literally 2 days before was declared fit for the game, so I just had to throw him in, and we managed to pick up a win. Unfortunately, the first game against Everton, we had most of the possession, we just didn't create the chances. Literally the whole highlights of that game is Everton chance after Everton chance on the counter-attack, despite the fact the stats say I had about twice as many chances. They obviously weren't worthy of showing on the actual gameplay. And then somehow Matty Tubbs ruined my dream of winning the cup to save my job. Literally one counter-attack, they went 1-0 up, and then I could not score despite having 26 shots on goal. So yeah, clearly good. I need to get players that can score, and it seems only Rondon can do that.
I think your only striker fit currently is Rondon, isn't it? And Zarate now he's back.
I've got someone called Calorie, but he just doesn't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. And when I'm shouting calorie, it sounds like I'm saying the food calorie, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat for dinner or something. But yeah, Calorie's had a few chances where he's through on goal and then just doesn't put it away. So I think I'm just going to have to put him in the reserves for a while or something. But yeah, hopefully now with Zarate and Rondon and Ricky Lambert's back, although he didn't score against Portsmouth, hopefully I'll start doing better in the next episode. But at least I've picked up a victory. Well, I'm not in the relegation area.
Improvements, I mean, admittedly, you couldn't really go much further wrong than 5-0.
Oh no, it's a lot better than the first episode, trust me.
And here's the thing, talking about 5-0s, I can now move on to Joe, who actually got JNO'd in this episode. How'd your episode go, Joe?
JNO'd.
That is not a thing. No, wait, no. That is not a thing. Unless it happens like a couple more times this season. No, I'm not having it.
But Joe, anyway, you had an eventful 3 games. How do you think you did, considering the teams you played?
I have nothing to say. My first game was probably the worst game of Football Manager I think I've ever witnessed, and I probably will have one highlight in the entire game, and that will be of Yann Villa getting sent off. I drew 0-0 with Sunderland, a game that I expected to win because I'm a cocky bastard like that. So yeah, I was disappointed with the first game. The second game, anyway, and the third game.
Just skip the 5-0 against Man City.
The second game I got absolutely demolished. I don't remember my team actually having a shot on goal. Then I got a sending off just to make things a lot better. And other than that, I beat Plymouth 2-0 with the first team out.
Just to quickly mention something, you had 5 shots in the City game, none on target. You conceded 22 fouls, had 4 yellow cards and 36% possession. So I'd say you bossed out the game. maybe a
Yeah.
little bit of an understatement.
Yeah, well, these things happen. So that was, let's just say it wasn't a good episode. I've lost my first ever Premier League game on Football Manager 16, so I'm just announcing my retirement. I need to go into official management now and take over the Chelsea job.
You
Ouch.
sure you want to take that?
Yeah, well, you know, Mourinho's making it look easy at the moment. All I've got to do is get Chelsea relegated.
I saw a picture the other day which was Sheffield Wednesday being one of their main contenders for promotion in the next season for Chelsea. I was like, hey, we'll be in the Premier League, I have you know. How dare they?
So,
But
you know, you still may be playing Chelsea.
maybe in the Premier League if they survive, or if we don't go up, but that won't happen. But anyway, on to the point. So, eventful 3 games for you. You didn't actually score a Premier League goal this episode.
I was just hoping I would score a goal in the Capital Cup game. I'll tell you what, my episode was terrible. I didn't make a single sign-in. I put in a bid for one player that ended up going downhill. I had to cancel my Embolo deal, and nothing happened. It was terrible. Oh, and Yannick Bolasie got injured to make things even better. So,
So not a good episode in hell.
I got 4 injuries in that Sunderland game.
You
I
really
lost
did
Ashley
have a
Cole.
JNO episode, didn't you?
Yeah, I lost Ashley
Injuries,
Cole.
losses. That sounds like me.
I lost Ashley Cole, Bolasie. I did lose Connor Wickham for a few days, and I got a sending off of MacArthur, which is like an injury, but it's not quite an injury. Yeah, that was my episode. That's got nothing to say.
And lastly, we'll move on to Dave, who played against me, and I'm not going to say anything. I'll let you talk about your 3 games this episode.
Okay. First game, obviously against Kurt. We lost 4-1, but we don't have to talk about that too much.
It wasn't 5-0, so
Yeah.
you're better than me and
I
Joe.
didn't get J&O'd, but we got an early injury to Sisto, who played, obviously new signing, £6 million. But he played all right first game of the season. For him to get injured in the 7th minute, he's out for 3 months, so it's a bit of a big loss.
Dirty Stoke.
I know.
Hey.
But literally everything Stoke were touching would turn into goals. Like we're 4-0 down in about 40 minutes, and then every time a highlight came on, we seemed to boot the ball up and lose the ball, and I didn't understand why until I clicked on my tactics, and for some reason it was pump the ball into the box, and that's what cost me. Because second half I turned it off, and we won the second half 1-0. Like Stoke had nothing, and like. I can't take anything away from Stoke because they won fair and square, to be honest. But
Quality
like, for me to do such a stupid mistake, but I mean we're okay second half, and then we went into second game against Chelsea where I expected to lose, but we got a 0-0 draw, probably the most boring game of Football Manager I've ever played. And then the final game against our beloved Wolves, we bottled that as well, 1-0 up, and then we bottled it 3-1, 2 stupid grubby goals in extra time. So. But it's out of the cup, that's out of the way now anyway, so we can just focus on the league mainly.
That is such a typical Football Manager response.
And lastly, I'll quickly, I don't want to bore you with my episode. Of course, you know, I beat Swansea 4-1. Another good game from Athalai and Josler, who seem to be setting the world alight, or at least the Premier League alight. Second game, I had a really awful and then good game because there was literally nothing happening until 70 minutes on the clock. Jamie Vardy hit me, and then I hit back with Athalai, and then Jamie Vardy hit me again, and I hit back with Athalai in the 92nd minute, or 91st minute, sorry. So I got away with that. And then my game against Burton was probably the luckiest win I've had so far in Football Manager, because we had 3 shots and scored twice, and one of them was a penalty. And Burton probably, you know, looking at it, should have probably won. Looking at the chances they had more chances than me. They probably had more clear-cut chances than me, more goal-scoring opportunities than me. And I think that fact they're a League One side showed, as Premier League sides facing up against me would have taken those chances. But you know, I'm happy to say that I managed to get through in the cup. So third round, hopefully I'll play Joe and become the last remaining person out of us 4 in the cup, which will obviously happen because I'm the only team that's undefeated. Just like to point that out there.
It's because you haven't played anyone decent yet.
Hey.
Hey. I mean, he hasn't played me yet, but like, to be honest, I get loads of chances and I don't put them away. And I am a Premiership side, so I might as well go to League One.
Well, I mean, I've got Kabay back now, so
Oh, you got a pass master.
yeah, and you know, Shamak, he's back.
Oh, 2 goals a game.
Hey, Shamak
Heads
did
down.
damage.
Shamak's the man to. If you want him, 50 million. 50 million.
Make it
Do your
49.
deal. Mates
I'll
rate
speak to, my
49.5.
But last thing to quickly mention is the next 3 games that all teams have got. So for myself, let's get myself out of the way. I've got an away game against Watford, which is a quite hard game, I have to admit. Then I've got a home game against Norwich, I'll be looking to get 3 points from, and then it's the next episode. As long as we get the next 3 games done, I managed to pick myself up a game against Crystal Palace. And nothing to say on that.
Silence.
So
Feel the tension.
That is Clash of the Titans, Kurt, because me and you have history,
yeah, we do have history.
even on this Football Manager,
But that'll be
which
a
we're not
decent,
going to go into.
that'll be a decent way to end off that
Me and
episode
Dave
for
will
me.
be there as well, just for the record. It's not just all about your clash.
Exactly. We'll upload as well.
And that's everything interesting happening. So we will...
But as you know, Palace play me, so Palace do have a home tie against Bournemouth at the start of the next episode. Then the next game they have is an away game against Spurs, so tough game. And of course they've got away game against Stoke to end off the episode. So 3 tough games potentially, because Bournemouth might not be rollovers. Then we're looking at the fact that we're looking at a certain West Brom team who start off the episode again against Manchester City, so it's not looking good for Jano there. Second
Could be
game,
10-0.
5-0.
Could be 10-0.
second game is got an
Our
away
defence has
game
improved a
to
little bit.
got an away game to Sunderland, which again could be a tough game, as Joe showed with his 0-0. And lastly, you got an away game against Tottenham.
Yeah,
So-
let's just be honest. All my games are going to be tough games, so
Mine and Jano's fixtures sound quite alike.
They are quite alike. You've got
Because
a
I
few of the
played
same
Man
teams.
City and Sunderland and Spurs within 4 weeks of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really say anything else, but yeah, there. And lastly, you've got J&O, who starts off at another tough game, at home against Liverpool. Could be tough.
wait, how many games do I have?
Wait,
Swansea.
Jano's playing 2 games this
Oh,
week.
sorry. And then Dave's at Swansea has got a home game against Liverpool, and then the second game he's got after the international break, obviously, is an away game against my beloved Southampton, Football Manager Lover Boys. And lastly, they've got an away game against Aston Villa. So, quite an interesting episode, I think. Obviously, the big games against Big Six will be up there, but, I have to pick out my game versus Joe as a possible game of the next episode.
I hope
But-
it's a 0-0.
No highlights. No shots.
I'm going to put out an Udinese, Kurt.
8 at the back. Get in there. No, but that's all I've got to say on this episode. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. Have any of you 3 got anything else to say?
No, clearly not.
No.
No.
Anything I
I,
say is just going to all go wrong.
I
this episode
have nothing
anyway,
to
so-
say. I do not want to be fined again. No more stadium bans for me. That
Well,
was
thank you
too
guys.
awesome, Wenger.
Thank you guys for watching nonetheless, and peace.
See you guys.
See ya.
See ya!